Chosen one, see, this is not coincidence. You didn't just hear this message, you were positioned to receive it. Out of all the moments, all the pauses, all the scrolls and distractions, this exact second opened itself to you like a door only you could see. Heaven has been watching the tension in your spirit, the questions you've carried quietly, the strength you've needed just to keep moving forward. And now light is pressing gently against the shadows, not to expose you, but to protect you. You've felt it this week, haven't you? That subtle stirring, that interruption in your routine, a moment where something didn't sit right, where your spirit leaned forward before your mind could explain why. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe, like, and comment Amen if your spirit is already responding, because this message is about to speak directly to you. This isn't a break in the flow, it's a step of alignment, a signal that you're present, listening, and ready for what heaven is revealing. God has been patient with you. He whispered once. Through intuition you almost ignored. He confirmed twice. Through repetition you couldn't dismiss. He interrupted your routine a third time. Through a delay, a disruption, a moment that forced you to stop and look inward. And now, this is the fourth. Not because God is angry, but because what's ahead requires attention, alignment, and obedience. This final warning is not wrapped in fear, it's wrapped in mercy. God is not trying to scare you. He's trying to spare you time, pain, and unnecessary cycles that you've already outgrown. You've survived too much, learned too deeply, and come too far to miss this moment. Chosen one, your confusion was never weakness. It was investigation. Your exhaustion wasn't failure. It was evidence of unseen battles you've already won. You've been walking with purpose even when clarity felt delayed, trusting light even while moving through shadow. And now comes divine validation. You were right to pause, right to question, right to listen. This warning is timed, this message is aligned, this moment is personal, something hidden is about to become clear. A truth you've sensed but couldn't fully name is rising to the surface. And as it does, you'll understand why God spoke more than once, and why this fourth warning found you exactly now. So stay with me, chosen one, because what's about to be revealed next will connect every sign, every nudge, every interruption, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Chosen one, this is where honesty meets grace, because God's first warnings are rarely loud. They don't shake the ground or interrupt your life with chaos. They arrive softly, respectfully, like a whisper brushing the edge of your awareness. Small hesitations, inner pauses, brief moments where something didn't feel right, but you told yourself it was nothing. You kept moving, you stayed polite. You gave the benefit of the doubt, and God noticed. Those subtle red flags were not imagination, they were invitations to slow down. God warned gently first because He knows how sensitive your spirit is. He understands that you don't need force, you need clarity. So He spoke through intuition, through quiet discomfort, through that brief tightening in your chest that came and went before you could name it. Think back for a moment. Can you remember the first pause you ignored? The first time you felt unsure but chose familiarity over discernment? The first inner nudge that said, wait, something's off. Yet you moved forward anyway because you didn't want to seem dramatic, judgmental, or difficult. Chosen one, that wasn't weakness, that was compassion without boundaries. God never shames you for that. He teaches you through it. Subtle warnings are acts of kindness. They are God saying, pay attention here, without forcing you into fear. He allows you to notice gently so you can choose wisely. But when those quiet signals are consistently overridden, they don't disappear, they deepen. What begins as a hesitation becomes a heaviness. What begins as a pause becomes a pattern. Ask yourself honestly, why did I silence that first feeling? Was I trying to protect someone else's comfort? Was I afraid of being wrong? Or was I simply used to pushing past my own instincts? These questions aren't meant to accuse you. They're meant to awaken you. Chosen one, discernment doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers once and waits to see if you'll listen. God warned gently first because He respects your free will. He allows you to learn the difference between peace and pressure, between patience and denial. And now that lesson is coming into focus. The beautiful truth is this: you're not late. You didn't miss your chance. You are becoming aware now. And awareness is the turning point. The moment you recognize those early red flags for what they were, their power shifts. They no longer confuse you. They guide you. So pause here, breathe, and ask yourself, what did my spirit notice before my mind caught up? Where did God speak quietly before things grew louder? The answers are already within you. Chosen one, God warned gently, first not because the situation was small, but because He was protecting something precious in you. And now that your eyes are opening, that same grace is guiding you forward with clarity, wisdom, and calm strength. Chosen one, this is where awareness sharpens, because distraction is rarely random. Lately, your focus has felt scattered in ways you can't fully explain. Things that once flowed smoothly now require extra effort. Your peace has been interrupted by noise, notifications, thoughts that pull you in too many directions at once. Even your discipline, the routines that once grounded you, has been tested. And you may have wondered, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay centered? Hear this gently. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is approaching. When distraction rises suddenly, it's often because direction is near. When clarity is about to break through, resistance increases. The enemy doesn't need to stop you when you're lost, but when you're close to alignment, everything competes for your attention. That's why the noise feels louder now. That's why focus feels harder. That's why peace feels interrupted rather than absent. Think about it, chosen one. Have the distractions increased without clear cause? Are you busier but less fulfilled? Surrounded by activity but craving stillness? These aren't signs of failure. They are signals. Your spirit is being stretched because it's preparing to move into a clearer assignment. And before direction locks in, distraction tries to scatter what God is gathering. God often allows this moment so you can see the contrast. He lets the noise rise so you recognize how valuable silence truly is. He allows your discipline to be tested so you can refine it, not abandon it. Because what's coming next will require focus, not force, attention, not anxiety. Ask yourself honestly, what has been pulling at me lately that doesn't actually nourish me? What looks urgent but leaves me empty afterward? What steals my time without strengthening my spirit? These questions are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to realign you. Chosen one, distraction feeds on urgency. Direction feeds on stillness. And God is calling you back into the quiet place where your clarity lives. Not by shaming you for losing focus, but by inviting you to reclaim it intentionally. This is a moment to simplify, not strive. To reduce the noise, not increase effort. Notice how peace returns when you step away from the chaos, even briefly. Notice how your intuition becomes clearer when you slow down. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Your spirit knows where it's headed, even if your mind is still catching up. So don't be discouraged by this season of distraction. See it for what it is, a sign that alignment is close, direction is forming, purpose is pressing forward, and once clarity settles, the noise will lose its power. Chosen one, protect your focus. Guard your peace, return to what grounds you. Because when distraction rises, it's often the final test before direction becomes undeniable. And you are closer than you think. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven does not shout, it repeats. And lately something has been echoing through your life with quiet persistence. The same message, resurfacing again and again. Different voices, different situations, different forms. Yet every time the core meaning lands in the same place in your spirit, and you may have tried to brush it off, to rationalize it, to tell yourself it's coincidence. But deep down, something in you already knows. This is not random. God repeats what we delay responding to. Think about it. A phrase you hear from a stranger that strangely mirrors a thought you had in prayer. A video that appears at the exact moment you were questioning your next step. A conversation that confirms something you've been sensing but avoiding. Why does it keep returning? Why does it follow you from place to place? Because when God speaks and we hesitate, He does not abandon us. He pursues us gently with confirmation. This repetition is not pressure, it's mercy. God understands fear. He understands uncertainty. He knows obedience can feel costly when clarity isn't complete. So instead of forcing you, he surrounds you. He lets the message arrive through different channels so your mind can no longer dismiss what your spirit already recognizes. Not to overwhelm you, but to reassure you. Not to rush you, but to steady you. Ask yourself honestly, chosen one, what message keeps resurfacing in your life lately? What truth keeps tapping on your awareness when you slow down? Is it about letting go, moving forward, creating distance, trusting him more deeply? Whatever it is, the repetition is a signal that this instruction carries weight for your next season. Notice how the message doesn't bring confusion. It brings recognition. Even when it challenges you, it feels familiar. Even when it disrupts comfort, it carries peace beneath the discomfort. That's how you know it's divine. God's voice doesn't argue with your spirit, it aligns with it. Sometimes we wait for new answers when God is waiting for our response to the last one. Sometimes we ask for clarity when God has already given confirmation, and so he repeats, patiently, lovingly, until the timing of your obedience catches up with the timing of his instruction. Chosen one, repetition is not punishment, it's preparation. It means you are trusted with responsibility. It means what's ahead matters enough for heaven to ensure you don't miss the instruction required to reach it. And once you respond, truly respond, the echo will stop. The message will shift, the next door will open. So don't ignore the pattern anymore. Sit with it, pray into it. Ask not, why do I keep hearing this? But what is God inviting me to finally say yes to? Because when you move, even gently, even imperfectly, heaven moves with you. This is not coincidence. This is alignment calling your attention. In chosen one, the moment you respond, you'll realize the repetition was never a delay. It was divine timing protecting your destiny. Chosen one, there is a reason the air around you feels different lately. The urgency you sense is not anxiety, and it is not fear. It is awareness. Something is approaching a crossroads, and your spirit can feel it before your mind can explain it. This is what happens when a decision is closer than you think. Heaven begins to narrow the window, not to trap you, but to align you. You feel pressure because timing is tight. Not chaotic, not frantic, precise. God's timing does not panic, but it does not linger either. There are moments when grace invites patience, and there are moments when obedience requires movement. This is one of those moments. The pressure you feel is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to sharpen you. It is the weight of responsibility settling into place, signaling that what you choose next will shape what you experience after. Have you noticed how distractions no longer satisfy you? How the old ways of delaying feel heavier than before? That's because delay now could cost clarity later. When God brings a decision near, he also brings a heightened sensitivity. Your discernment becomes sharper. Your tolerance for misalignment decreases. You start to feel uncomfortable staying where you once settled easily. That discomfort is not punishment. It is positioning. Chosen one, rushing is driven by fear. Precision is guided by peace. Even when the moment feels intense, there is a quiet steadiness underneath it. God is not asking you to leap blindly. He is asking you to step forward with what you already know. The clarity you're waiting for will not arrive before obedience. It follows it. Light comes as you move, not before. Think about it. Why does this decision keep coming back into your awareness? Why does it surface in prayer, in silence, in moments when you're not trying to think about it? Because it's ripe, because the season has shifted, because what was not yet has quietly become now. And if you ignore that signal too long, confusion begins to replace conviction. This is why the pressure feels spiritual, not emotional. It's the kind that invites alignment, not panic. God is saying, pay attention. The window is open, not forever, not indefinitely, but long enough for obedience to respond. And when you move within divine timing, even difficult decisions carry peace with them. Ask yourself honestly, chosen one, what decision have you been sensing is near, but hoping would wait? Where has God been gently preparing you, strengthening you, pruning you. Not for someday, but for soon. You are not being cornered. You are being trusted. Remember this, delay is not neutral when clarity has already been given. Waiting too long can blur what was once sharp. Hesitation can silence what was once clear. That is why God brings awareness before action, to protect you from missing your moment. So breathe, still your mind, listen beneath the noise. This is not about pressure from people, circumstances, or fear. This is about precision from heaven. And when you step in rhythm with God's timing, the decision won't drain you. It will release you. Chosen one, the moment is closer than you think. And when you say yes, you'll realize the pressure wasn't warning you of danger. It was alerting you to destiny, aligning right on time. Chosen one, this part may feel tender, but it is holy. There comes a moment in every divine journey when God gently reveals a truth that reshapes your path. Someone around you is not meant to go further. This realization is not sudden. It arrives slowly, like dawn breaking after a long night. You don't feel anger toward them. You don't feel hatred. You simply feel a quiet knowing that the season has changed. Not everyone who walked with you is meant to cross the next threshold. There are people who were assigned to your process, not your promise. They were grace for a chapter, strength for a stretch of road, companionship during survival, but not alignment for expansion. And when God begins to elevate you, refine you, or reposition you, He must also adjust who has access to your next level. This is not rejection, it is protection. Notice how certain conversations no longer nourish you, how some relationships feel heavy instead of strengthening, how you leave interactions feeling drained instead of inspired. Have you wondered why your spirit feels quieter around them now? That is discernment activating. God is not exposing them as evil, He is revealing misalignment. Two people can be sincere and still not be destined to walk the same future. Chosen one, this warning is about separation, not judgment. Judgment condemns. Separation clarifies. God separates to preserve peace, to guard calling, and to prevent unnecessary wounds later. If someone cannot celebrate your growth without feeling threatened, cannot respect your obedience without trying to slow you down, or cannot walk in truth without pulling you toward comfort, they cannot go where God is taking you. This is often the hardest lesson because attachment whispers louder than obedience. Your heart remembers shared battles, shared tears, shared victories. But destiny requires discernment. The next threshold demands lighter weight. God never removes people to punish you. He removes them to prepare you. And sometimes He waits until you're strong enough to release them without resentment. Ask yourself, chosen one, who has been present but not aligned? Who resists change while you're being called forward? Who benefits from your old version but feels uncomfortable with your becoming? These questions aren't meant to accuse. They are meant to awaken clarity. You don't need to confront. You don't need to explain everything. Sometimes the holiest response is gentle distance. Silence can be obedience. Space can be wisdom. God will handle what you don't have the grace to articulate. Your responsibility is not to convince anyone. It is to remain faithful to what God is showing you. And here is the reassurance your spirit needs. Letting go does not erase what was real. It honors it. It says, thank you for the season, without forcing someone into a future they were never designed to carry. When God closes relational doors, He opens corridors of peace, clarity, and acceleration. So don't harden your heart. Don't rush the separation. Let it unfold with grace. You are not losing people. You are gaining alignment. And as you step forward, you will discover that obedience creates space for the right connections to meet you at the right time. Chosen one, trust this process. What cannot go further would only slow you down. And what God is preparing ahead requires you to walk lighter, clearer, and unburdened, exactly as you are now becoming. Chosen one, this is where everything becomes real. This is the moment where insight turns into action, where awareness demands a response. Obedience now prevents consequences later. And this is not a threat, it is mercy speaking with urgency. God does not wait for damage to occur before He intervenes. He warns before impact. before loss, before regret has a chance to take root. That alone should tell you how deeply protected you are. Think about it for a moment. How many times in your life did clarity arrive just before something went wrong? How often did you feel a sudden nudge to pause, to step back, to reconsider, even when logic said, keep going? That wasn't hesitation. That was heaven interrupting momentum. God never warns late. He warns early, quietly, faithfully. The question has never been whether God spoke. The question has always been whether we listen. This final warning feels urgent because timing matters. Not rushed, precise. Urgency is not panic. Panic confuses. Urgency clarifies. It sharpens your awareness and brings your focus into the present moment. God is saying you will pay attention now so you don't have to recover later. And recovery, chosen one, costs more than obedience ever will. Recovery costs time, emotional energy, trust, and sometimes years of rebuilding what could have been preserved. You may be feeling the weight of decision right now, a sense that something must change, a relationship, a habit, a direction, a delay you've been justifying. That pressure isn't condemnation, it's protection. God is not standing over you in anger. He is standing in front of you with a warning sign saying, stop here. This road ahead leads somewhere you don't want to go. Why would a loving God stay silent when danger's approaching? Obedience is rarely dramatic. Most of the time, it's quiet, internal, and deeply personal. It looks like saying no when it would be easier to say yes. It looks like walking away without closure. It looks like trusting God's voice over your emotions. And yes, sometimes it feels lonely, but loneliness is temporary. Consequences are not. Ask yourself honestly, chosen one, what has God already been asking you to do that you've been postponing? What instruction keeps returning to your spirit, even when you try to ignore it? God repeats warnings not because he's frustrated, but because he's patient. This final warning is not about fear, it's about alignment. Heaven is giving you one more chance to choose wisely. Understand this deeply. Protection often disguises itself as inconvenience. What God blocks may feel painful in the moment, but it is shielding you from pain you cannot yet see. Obedience today spares you explanations tomorrow. It spares you tears you won't have to cry, apologies you won't have to make, and healing you won't have to beg for later. So don't delay, don't negotiate, don't wait for more signs. This is the sign. This is the moment where destiny shifts quietly based on a single decision. Choose obedience, not because you're afraid of consequences, but because you trust God's wisdom more than your own understanding. Chosen one, this urgency is love in motion. This warning is grace with a voice. And if you respond now, you won't look back later wishing you had listened. You'll look forward, protected, aligned, and grateful, knowing that obedience didn't limit you. It saved you.